Welcome back to On Football. In today's performance review video, we're going to be taking a look at some cleats in the Adidas Freak line. Specifically, we're going to be looking at the lows and the mids. Now, I unboxed these a couple weeks ago, and I showed you guys both the lows and the mids, and I also let you know that there is a high version. Now, recently, Adidas also released a Prime Knit version, but I'm going to save that for another video. I was fortunate enough to receive both these cleats from my partners over at eastbay.com, and just as usual, I'm going to include a link in the description of this video of where you can purchase these cleats. To start this video review, I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a background of this cleat, the different technologies in it, a lot of the technology that's not in it, and then I'm going to tell you what you're really going to love about this cleat, what you're going to like about this cleat, and some of the trade-offs if you decide to purchase the Adidas Freaks. Now, originally, I thought I might do two different reviews for you, one specifically for the lows, and the one specifically for the mids. But after testing these cleats, they are pretty much the same, except one is a mid cut and one is a low cut. When Adidas made the Adidas Freaks, they really tried to make a cleat for the combination of speed and power. And this cleat does just that. Now, it uses some of the traditional, almost classical materials in the upper. Some of it is mesh for breathability, like the tongue, for example, is mesh. It does stretch a little bit. It does have an internal booty inside. It's not one-piece construction, but it's still going to give you that additional lock-in because your foot does slide in the booty that's constructed with the cleat. Now, the Freaks do also have iron skin, which is going to give you some abrasion protection for all you guys that want a sturdy, more durable cleat. It's definitely more durable than any of the cleats in the Adizero line. Now, with that durability, you're not going to get as much of that lightweight, so this is going to be a heavier cleat. At the bottom of the cleat, they do use a razor frame. This is the same frame that's used in the mids and the high. Now, the razor frame is going to be a little bit different than the sprint frame used with the Adizero line. It is going to have sprint studs at the top. So all of these studs in the forefoot are conical studs that are really for going forward. Now, at the back of the cleat, near the heel, they actually have more conical triangular studs. Now, you can see it a little bit in the video where it's not just going to be straight sprint studs, but it is going to give you multi-directional traction. For me, I don't think they're as good as blades, but this is going to have a little bit straighter edges for you to really dig in the ground for change of direction. All the Freaks this year are made with carbon. In previous years, they had some with and some without. So all these have carbon, and there is carbon in the actual plate. That's going to add some springiness to your step, and that's going to make up for some of the heavier weight that's in this cleat. Now that you have the overview of this cleat, let's get into some of the things that you're really going to love, some of the things that you're going to like, and some of the trade-offs with this cleat. The first thing that you're really going to love about all the cleats in the Adidas Freak line is how great the fit is. Now, this fit is what I call more of a traditional fit. It really has a zero space fit, similar to some of the older cleats that have been on the market. When you think about something like the Vapor Carbons, these fit just like those. So that means if you're coming from some of the more modern cleats like the Vapor Untouchable Pros, or maybe even some of the Adizeros, you may have to go up half a size. For anyone with a normal width foot, you're going to wear your actual shoe size, not your cleat size. So whatever size you wear with your normal shoes, that's what I would suggest getting this cleat in. It's going to have zero space and a lot of cushioning and a lot of comfort all around the cleat because of the materials. Again, that's going to make it a little bit heavier. If you do have wider feet, I'm going to definitely suggest that you go up half a size, maybe even a full size with this cleat. Something else that you're going to love about this is that I call it a basic no frills cleat. And why you're going to love that is everything works exactly as it's intended. There's no cute lacing system up here. When you pull the laces, you're not going to have to retie them. Each of the eyelets in here, the laces are going to pull and they're going to stay tight. Because the upper is constructed of a traditional simple material, it's also going to form to your foot. That means that you're not really going to have a lot of break-in time with the upper. It's not going to crease in certain areas. It's really going to be a basic cleat that fits the way it's supposed to and works the way that it's intended. You're going to love the carbon that's in the plate. It's going to add to some of the springiness and propulsion in your step, and it still maintains some of that flexibility in the plate. Now, it's not going to be nearly as flexible as the Adizero line, where that doesn't have the carbon where you can really bend this plate, but you're going to have that flexibility. It's going to take a little break-in time with the carbon, but after time, it's going to be very comfortable as it's not as stiff as some of the other cleats in the market today. Lastly, you can't beat the price on this cleat. So the lows retail for $90, the mids retail for $100, and then the highs, which I don't have a pair of, retail for $120. The Freak cleats might be the most versatile cleat on the market today, this whole line. And that's because they come in a low, they come in a true mid, and they come in a high. Now the low is going to be for any player on the field who really wants a low cut cleat for maximum maneuverability and range of motion. Now the mid is going to be for more of your running backs, your linebackers, and the highs are really more of a lineman cleat. It's really going to give you that stability and that lock-in that you want in a clean at the line of scrimmage. One thing I want to tell you guys about the mid is when I first took it out of the box, it looked way too high. But that's why I test all these cleats out. When you see this cleat on foot, it doesn't look that high at all and actually resembles a true mid. Now to some of the things that you're really gonna like about this cleat. I talked about the razor frame where it has sprint studs at the top and then it has these multi-directional triangular studs near the heel of the cleat. Now that's gonna give you really good traction. Again, not some of the best traction. I really prefer something with blades at the back and maybe a blade at the tip, but this is gonna give you great traction that you're really gonna like in this cleat. One of the most underrated features in a cleat is really the tongue. Now, all the manufacturers know this, but I don't think your regular consumers, your football players really think about the tongue of a cleat. Now, this padding and the stretchiness in this cleat is really gonna add to the comfort, and that's something that you guys are gonna like about this cleat. Last in this category is going to be the number of styles. Now, the lows come in 7 different colorways. The mids also come in those same 7 different colorways, but the highs, for the linemen, you guys actually have 14 different colorways that you can choose in this cleat. So definitely check out the link below. All those 14 colorways are gonna be there on eastbay.com. Now you would think at $90 that there'd be a lot of trade-offs with this cleat. The truth is that the Freak cleats and the Adizero cleats are very, very different. Now in my Adizero review, I really recommended those for outside players. You know, think about your corners and your wide receivers and maybe even some of your speed backs. That's about it. It's a really lightweight cleat. It doesn't provide much protection. It doesn't feel like you have much protection. This cleat is going to be the exact opposite. So it is going to be a little bit heavier, but you're going to feel like you actually have the protection on your foot. So some of your safeties, everyone on defense, some of your running backs, anyone who wants to feel more secure in their cleats is going to like something like the Freak. So with that being said, there's not a lot of trade-offs with this cleat. Now, one of the things that you do have is the weight. Because of the materials used in it, it doesn't use the most innovative, lightest weight materials. That does give you that secure fit. These weigh in at a whopping 14 ounces. That is 50% heavier than the Adizero 7.0s. And the mids, those weigh in at about 15.5 ounces. And the highs, even more. So you're definitely gonna have some weight. Now, I don't think that's gonna be a big difference for those of you who really want to feel more of that security with your cleats, that security and the protection with your cleats. And lastly, the only other trade-off that you're gonna have is these don't come in the almost infinite colorways that the Adizero line does. So like I said, you have the 7 different colorways in the lows and the mids, and the 14 different colorways in the highs. Like I said earlier in the video, this is one of the most versatile cleats on the market. Every position on the field can use it. Just take your pick if you want the lows, the mids, or the highs. If you liked how the Vapor Carbons felt, the original Vapor Carbons from Nike, I definitely suggest that you check this cleat out, especially for $90. If you do have a pair of these already, definitely comment below. I'd love to hear how my followers and viewers experience their cleats and what they think about it. If you like my video, remember to give me a thumbs up, share, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.